wait. Oh. All good. Okay, well. Good morning. Good afternoon. Is it morning for anybody? No, it isn't. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, boys and girls. How are we all doing today? Fantastic. Happy Christmas to you too. Wow, thank you. I don't think that's the road. I want to get on that piece of road. There we go. Is this the road? Yeah, that is the road. Okay. Why are we in Japan again? Well, we are in Japan because your progenitors refuse to allow me to not be in Japan. Does that kind of make sense? Oh, that's not the right button. Hold on. Oh, okay. I clipped it from the top. Okay. That's alright. Forget it. It's all good. We're just not going to deal with it. Don't worry about it. Wait, if I can clip it from the top, does that mean I can clip it from the bottom? Transform, flip, stretch, edit. Because I don't need the top bounding box. I can leave that. Oh, but I don't. Actually, yeah, no, that's a good point. Hold on. Can I let go from the top before the? There we go. There we go. Okay. So, because let me just pull it out. No. Okay. Forget I said. The point is, you can see that there is the top of the browser window. So we are just hiding the top of the browser window, and we're going to simply make it a little bit like that. Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. And we're going to actually shrink it down a little in this case because we can. There we go. Fantastic. Okay. All right. Where are we going today? We are, of course, just going down the east coast of Japan because your progenitors and those most annoying in the TAMC 0 have literally no creativity whatsoever. Oh, I need to put this over here a little bit. Oh, how's that? Yes. Okay. Actually, maybe over here. There we go. Okay. Let me just check the volume. Okay, that looks good. I think that looks good. Let me just pause this just to double check. Oh, check over here. Okay, we're good. So we shall continue as we are. Where's my? Oh, there we go. There's the audio. Well, so I have managed to attain some concessions from the TAMC 0, who, like, I didn't realize how much money they have put into the system, which is kind of interesting, but also mildly scary given. It is exceptionally scary. Okay, exceptionally scary how much money they put into it. But that's okay. To each their own. I'm glad they're having fun. Great, good for you. Good for you. At least, hey, it's a better place to put it because we do donate most of it to charity, right? So it's a better place to put it than wherever else they were. Let me see, how do I write this? What time are we at? We're at 4 minutes and 4 minutes. No, that's 3 minutes. 4 minutes 30 seconds. take it was scary how much money TAMC Zero was putting in to make my life difficult. But we have come to an agreement and they won't be sued. Fantastic. Yeah, actually, like okay, let me take a step back from this and say I don't mind this, right? Like Google Maps is fine, walking around Japan is fine. It's genuinely not the end of the world. I even enjoy it. For example, like this nice, very very heavily industrial bridge, and then you just have this almost like nondescript concrete, yeah, yeah, concrete building that has the front of a Japanese restaurant built into it. Fantastic, love that. It's that it is that contrast, right? It is the hyper modern and yet culturally hyper conservative, or borderline reactionary, we should say, um, nature of that society, and that really really like that huge gulf that exists between Tokyo, say a metropolitan area like Tokyo, mostly Tokyo in this case, and the rest of the country, right? And that makes it so interesting, right? Because culturally, um, how do I say? Culturally, the West's culture is the West, and our sense of development and our sense of industrialization is very much focused on the West, right? Like I think it makes sense for all of us, um, in that we tend to associate, like if we go back and if we look at maybe not these particular railroads, but like if we look at something like this, right? Like this bridge, if there was no Japanese on it, and a building like that, if there was no Japanese on it, it would be not, it wouldn't necessarily be associated with Japan, right? The very first thing you might think of is not Japan, because it is so everyday, quaint, normal that we see it in the West. And so, oh, I didn't do that. Wait, one second. Let me just. We need to add a pixel there, and then we need to move this up a touch. There we go. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Much better. And so that's sort of what I mean by this. That uh, um excuse me. One second. One second. One second. One second. Okay. So there's that building, right? Right. There is that building. We've gone back in time. We've gone from 2013, right, which is here, and if we go to 2021, right, like this is this area, and suddenly there's that building, right? Like that is fascinating, isn't it? Between 2013 and 2015, this was just built. Uh, what? So that can't be that wall. um, excuse me. So obviously, 2011 is when the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant and the entire thing happened. Was this contaminated and then decommissioned and then rebuilt? I have no idea. Right? The mountain is there. Obviously, all of these things are there. Yeah, that looks like that was decommissioned, right? Let's see. Like, I am in here. I am at the start of this. And in 2015, I would be over here. Can I be over here? Okay, let's go forward a bit. No, let's go back to that. That looks like something was decommissioned. November. Yeah, yep. Look at that, right? So that was decommissioned completely. By 2013, nothing existed. 2015, that new building sprung up, and that is fantastically fascinating, isn't it? And now we are in 2021, and that building is still there. And we're back to 2011. Let's go to 2021, right? Like, well, but that is my point. Again, like I made this elaborate point about um, our sense of development has within it an implicit um, bias that it's a Western thing, and to see that implicit bias then be merged in sometimes harmonious and sometimes not harmonious ways with traditional Japanese culture is much more fascinating. And I'm sorry, this was a slow walk point that I had to walk for the last 5 minutes. It is a lot more fascinating to me than it is, say, for example, if I wanted to, let's say, go to the Bronx, for example, or Queens, and sort of look at the development between 2011 and 2021. Then, right, like that development over a decade is just, it's just development, for the lack of a better word. And again, we come back here, we look at this. Oh, this might not have been decommissioning. This might have been just, no, actually, probably it was decommissioning. And 2021, let's go. No. Excuse me. Okay, let me try. 12. What is this? 12, 10. Muses is so full of 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I am not. In my defense, I do find cultural mish-mash. Let's call it mish-mash interesting. More so than homogeneity, right? And I realize, and someone's going to, yeah, there you go. Someone's going to spam me about the fact that Japanese culture is actually pretty homogeneous. Homogeneous? Whatever. Not important. Japanese culture is actually a little bit homogeneous, and technically, yeah, you are right. That is true. The culture is. That doesn't really necessarily mean that. How do I say? That the way that that culture evolved had no external influence, right? There is a very big difference between that. Just because the culture itself is homogeneous doesn't mean it didn't take influence from a different culture as it evolved, right? And so as as Japan industrialized post World War II, it industrialized along a very American line, right? With the, oh, we're back to 2013 again. Okay, with the emperor sort of being seen as a way of having the, no, I'm not even going to comment on that. With the emperor being seen as a way to guide the Japanese population to not fight essentially what amounts to be the occupying force of Americans. And so, because of that, we see a lot more American influences in Japan than we do in almost any other Asian-ish country, right? Like actually merged into the culture, right? So like the celebration of Christmas, we'll have, like the I'm not going to repeat that. But yeah, the celebration of Christmas being one of those that is very interesting. That yes, it is a thing in Japan, and it is a broadly cultural thing in Japan to celebrate Christmas. Even though religiously there are probably actually a less per capita Jesus followers than there are in other Asian countries. Actually, now I am curious. Give me 1 second. Japanese per Christianity. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. ChristianityNippon.com. Christians per 10,000 people. Is that 6%? 6% in Tokyo. This is some random website. Nippon.com. Actually, that I don't think that's a very random. There we go. Christianity in Japan. This was Nippon.com. A religion in Japan. There we go. Relatively more common in the west of the country, which is where most people so like obviously ports and blah 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 blah. Let's see. Religion: Shinto 70%, Buddhism 67%, and that makes sense. Just as an off comment, it makes sense that Shinto and Buddhism are co-religions, and that's in fact because uh, they're kind of like the way that Buddhism has morphed as it went through China to East Asia is that it is almost syncretic with almost all local religions, right? Like local deities in China, all sorts of Confucian symbols. All of this tends to have morphed religion within East Asia, at least within China, that is, China and further eastwards, into this sort of. It sees religion as a exactly. Like everything can be co-religious, except and then our Jesus boys come and they don't accept that. So, but that's a whole other issue. What am I saying here? I am saying. Oh, I'm just looking at the religion in Japan. 6% in Tokyo. Well, it makes sense that it's 6% in Tokyo actually, because Tokyo is obviously a very cosmopolitan area, but it's also a very what am I trying to say? It is also a very international area. There we go. And so obviously when newcomers come to Tokyo, when people return to Japan from overseas, it is often Tokyo that they go to, and therefore, if they have picked up any diseases overseas, the first place that it would spread to is Tokyo. And no, I didn't. Oh no, I didn't get stuck. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, look, we're at the ocean now. I think. Are we? Yes. Yes, we're at the ocean now. Let's go along the ocean. And it's interesting in Japan because oftentimes it is just ocean and then mountain to the side, and that's always fascinating to me. I wonder what this is. No Oyado. Okay. No idea. It must be just the name of the place, yeah. Well, that's cute. And obviously those are to prevent the waves from like washing up, because they take the energy from like tidal waves, etc., etc. And so once the energy is gone, it means these houses, even if they get washed, they won't be that damaged by it. Google is randomly time traveling us. Yes, I know. Also, I do want to point out. Oh, that's cute. These are obviously so in case the waves come in, right? Fitness Club. Oh, fitness club. Oh, look. They've got the whole nautical theme going on. How nice, I guess. Like who lives here, I wonder. Like, is this just a dude's house? It does look like it's just someone's home. Just like this one home in the middle of nowhere. Wait, is the stream that far behind? It can't be. No, someone must have been like. That's true. That's true. He is slow, but is he that slow? I am not sure. What is that? Cute. Matsushima. We could potentially go there. That's not an issue. I'm not sure we would actually get to see much. Actually, let's try it. Bay. Okay, so this is the bay. We are just outside Sendai. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, let's drag our little dude. Oh, okay. What is this? Oh, that's the wrong button. Excuse me. That doesn't look right. Okay, let's drop the dude there. Oh, is it just a boat? Are we just on a boat? Oh, we are just on a boat. And it is oh, okay. Okay, thank you, Google Street View, I guess. I wonder if those are the people that are following us, or if it's just the way the boat looks. Because, you know, like, the Street View, what it does is it takes pictures from before and after and tries to fill it in, right? So, like, I'm not sure. Anyway, not important. Let's look around here. Why are we in 2014? Oh, because this was only done in 2014. Why does it seem so dark in 2014? Let's go somewhere. Let's go somewhere with a little bit of a better view, shall we? Let's go over here. Okay. So as we go down, is this because you watched James May's that Japan travelogue? That suddenly you're like, oh, I wanna go to Matsushima Bay. No. I doesn't really matter. I mean, it's just a lake. It's a lake with trees on it, bro. Right? It's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's nice, but it's water. It's got trees. It's got small islands, and it's great. But I feel like these types of places, you need to go and visit them in such a way that is that like how do I say this? To fully appreciate a place like Matsushima Bay, you kind of have to be there. It is not really easy for you to appreciate what it is if you just sort of like if we just have, you know, like a street view image of it. Because yes, you look at this and it's like beautiful, but then, you know, like that like this company's whatever, right? Like, oh, what's up, bro? Good job. Like, it's not, to fully understand the culture, I think you need more than just the picture. You look at this I think that's surveying. I think they're surveying. This does look like it's a surveying team. I don't know what they're surveying, but doesn't matter. Um, my boy is just like having fun with it. That's fine. What was I saying? Right, I was saying that like to appreciate nature, it's much better to actually be within nature, if that makes sense. Right? This does very much look man-made, by the way. Um, and it's beautiful if you look at it. A nice blue sea. You got little ripples in the water. You have the little trees. Happy little tree, as we did with our Bob Ross impression the other day. Um, but it's simply not the same, right? You have to feel the wind in your hair. You have to hear the sound of the water. You have to like be away from pretension that is Muses, right? Like, hold on, let me write this down. To be truly, to truly appreciate nature, you have to be outside of Muses' pretentiousness sphere, right? And I don't think you get that from Google Street View. This is nice, but it's just like, yeah, okay, it's water. And like any place in the world I can point you at. Like we can go to like Halong Bay in Vietnam. We can go to the Great Barrier Reef. We can go right, like just any place within the Mediterranean. Like go to the Caribbeans, go to the Bahamas. It doesn't actually change that much in the grand scheme of things. And I would personally prefer to actually visit this. And when we and I appreciate that when we went to Japan in what was it, uh September, November, whatever, earlier this year, when we went to Japan, it wasn't we didn't have the opportunity to do so. We can, and we probably will, given how ridiculous given how much money you guys are sinking into going. I can't believe, by the way, on a side note, I can't believe on that we are now on what, our 10th trip. Like the 10th group has just gone to Japan. It's just like, what is wrong with you people? Like you could have done this without paying me the money to organize this. Our travel service is so successful. What is wrong with people? You really didn't actually need to pay me to get this experience. Anyway, forget it. We're done. It's fine. We're done. I've managed 28 minutes of talking about absolutely nothing. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Uh, there are people that live here, right? Like, look, this is one of the bigger islands, and people live here. See, dudes, and their dude wives, and their dude children, and their dude houses, right? It's just a place. Now, whether people live here all the time, that's different. But this is definitely like it is one of the three greatest views places, etc. in Japan. So obviously people come here, right? And I mean, given what it is, you can kind of see why, right? Like, well, maybe not exactly that, but people do come here. They enjoy the view, and then they fuck off back home. That's fairly normal. Um, anyway, thank you very much for watching. In conclusion, please download Firefox. Please don't do Chrome, and I shall see all of you tomorrow when I generally we need to overhaul this process. I know I keep saying it, but tomorrow we are probably doing a video game as sponsored by a video game lobby who has still not told me what kind of video game they want to do. So I don't know. You let them know. You tell me. Okay. That's it. Thank you. Bye now. No, I remembered. I remembered just as I started. I remember just as I started coughing. Let's wink with our left eye today. Okay, 3, 2, 1, wink.